If she had bowed her head, if she had accepted the chains that Europeans tried to wrap around her people, the Caribbean might have lost one of its greatest defenders long before the first rebellion ever began. But the woman, rising from the forests of Haiti, was not born to kneel. She was born to lead, to protect, and to resist. Her name was Anacaona, the golden flower queen of the Taíno, a poet, a diplomat, a warrior of the spirit, and one of the first leaders in the Americas to stand against European conquest. This is her story, powerful, tragic, unforgettable. Long before Europeans set foot on Caribbean shores, Anacaona lived in a world rich with culture, music, poetry, and peace. She was born into the Taíno royal family, the sister of a powerful cacique, a chief whose lands stretched across the fertile valleys of what is now Haiti. From childhood, Anacaona possessed something rare, a mind sharp enough to negotiate peace, and a heart brave enough to defend it. She became known for her songs, her poetry, her intelligence, a woman destined to lead not through fear, but through wisdom. In time, she married a neighboring king, uniting two major Taíno kingdoms. Together, they sought harmony. But harmony would not last, because across the sea, a storm was coming. When the Spanish arrived, they first pretended to be guests. They accepted food, shelter, gifts, and hospitality. But Anacaona saw something in their eyes: greed, hunger, ambition. The Spaniards didn't come for peace, they came for land. And for domination. Soon, everything the Taíno valued began to crumble. Spanish settlers abused the people. Villages were enslaved. Women were stolen. Men were forced into labor. Entire towns began to vanish under disease and brutality. Anacaona's husband, the king, attempted to resist and was killed. In a single day, she became a widow, and the queen of a kingdom threatened by an empire that showed no mercy. But she did not retreat. Anacaona stepped into leadership with a calm that masked her fury. She negotiated when possible. She protected her people where she could. She built alliances across the island. Her legend grew, a queen of beauty and wisdom, a queen who refused to abandon her people, a queen who believed resistance didn't always require violence, not at first, but the Spanish wanted total control, and Anacaona stood in their way. To break her influence, the Spanish governor invited her and Taíno leaders to a peace ceremony. Anacaona sensed danger. The invitation felt too sudden, too generous, too warm. But she also knew this: if she refused, the Spanish would claim she was secretly preparing for war. If she went, she could protect her people from suspicion, even if the risk was immense. So she made the decision every true ruler makes. She put her people before herself. On the day of the gathering, Anacaona arrived, dressed in white, adorned with gold ornaments. She carried herself with honor, a symbol of strength, dignity, and peace. Her people waited outside, hopeful. The Spanish soldiers smiled and welcomed her inside. Then the doors closed, and everything changed. Without warning, the Spanish commander shouted a single order: burn the hall. Soldiers set fire to the building, trapping the Taíno chiefs inside. Flames roared. Smoke filled the air. Warriors choked, screamed, fell. Anacaona watched in horror as her friends, allies, and leaders were murdered around her in an act of pure betrayal. The Spanish had no intention of peace. They wanted to destroy Taíno leadership in a single stroke. But one thing went wrong for them. Anacaona survived the flames. They dragged her outside, her clothes burned, her body covered in smoke and ash, but her eyes remained fierce, unbroken. The soldiers hoped she would beg. She did not. Instead, she stood tall, even in chains, refusing to show fear. The Spanish governor accused her of rebellion, a rebellion she never committed. But the truth didn't matter. They wanted her gone. They wanted her people leaderless. They wanted the island. Her trial was a performance, not justice. Her verdict was written before she spoke a single word. But when asked to confess, Anacaona refused to lie to save herself. She chose dignity over survival, and that choice terrified her captors. Because enslaved people obey. Broken leaders submit. But a queen who dies unafraid becomes something unstoppable, a symbol. Anacaona was sentenced to public execution. No royal burial, no ceremony, no respect, just a crude scaffold in the plaza. But on the day of her death, something extraordinary happened. Thousands of Taíno gathered in silence. Men, women, children, not with weapons, those had long been taken, but with tears, songs, and prayers for their queen. Anacaona walked to the execution site with steady steps. Her body bruised, her hands bound, her spirit blazing brighter than ever. She looked out at her people one last time, and lifted her chin. No begging, no fear. Only a queen, standing tall before the empire that betrayed her. And then, the golden flower queen of Haiti was gone. But her story did not end there. The Spanish believed killing Anacaona would break the Taíno instead. It ignited resistance across the Caribbean for generations. She became a legend, whispered in villages, a symbol of courage, a warning to colonizers, an inspiration to rebels, poets, and freedom fighters centuries later. Even today, in Haiti and across the Caribbean, her name is spoken with reverence. Not because she defeated the Spanish army, but because she faced the greatest empire of her time with dignity, loyalty, and unshakable pride. She protected her people with every breath. She resisted until her final moment. And she proved one truth. A queen's power is not measured by her armies, but by her courage. Anacaona's courage still burns, a flame the Spanish could never extinguish, a story the world will never forget. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your favorite topic you want me to cover next. Your support helps bring these forgotten queens back to life.